I guess welcome back to another video. So I was just kind of out and I thought of this video, so now I'm posting it. Anywho, you're gonna see a lot of that, and my voice being raspy and all that because I have the flu. I was just thinking about it. My youth pastor, maybe a week ago, asked me, "Are you a country boy or a redneck?" I had a question. I thought I'm a redneck. Me, my buddy, and one of my dad's buddies are all rednecks. But he asked me, what's the difference between a country boy and a redneck person? And I couldn't really explain it at the time because I was trying to think about it too hard. But then, give me some time in a deer stand, I can think up the weirdest thing you ever did here. And I can think about something NASA could use. I mean, you give me some hour in the deer stand, I can think of anything. Just how redneck people work. But the difference between a redneck a country boy now, he has all these cattle, these fences, these horses, all this stuff. And some of it's fancy, okay? Now, a redneck boy ain't got all that fancy equipment. And the difference between a country boy's mind and a redneck's mind are two completely different things. As you can tell by this fence deal, this holds our corner somewhat in place because we have a post here that used to hold our line for our dogs to run across. You know, those things where it's a little pulley system, but it runs across the wire so the dogs can go back and forth up the hill from tree to tree. You know them things, you should at least. If you don't, you're weird. Anywho, a country boy's mind, he can go to Lowe's, Walmart, no matter what, you go get your stuff, he can build you something. A redneck boy takes a bunch of scraps and builds the same thing a country boy did, except the redneck boy took a bunch of scraps, made it look the exact same, and fiddled around with it, and it's different parts and pieces. This thing could be a 2x4, and it could be a 1x4 on this, 2x4 on this board, 1x4 on this board, and this country boy got a 2x4. It could have different all kinds of boards. You could have 2x6, you know, whatever, 3x6, 12x12, I don't care what you got. A redneck boy can make it come together same way as a country boy could, but a country boy needs all these 2x4s, plywood, sheet metal, then he can build a pretty doghouse. Redneck boy, he takes sheet wood, plywood, 2x2s, 2x4s, 1x4s, 2x6s, 2x12s, 2x10s, 2x8s, 8x2s, I don't care what it is. He can make him a doghouse. Might not be pretty, but he took about a dozen different sizes of wood, built him a doghouse, except a country boy built him a doghouse out of 2x4 plywood, sheet wood. Sheet metal, three things. You know, the screws, etc. But the three main things. But a redneck boy, he can build him a doghouse out of all these different types of boards, different measurements. It don't matter. But he'll make it match up and make the same dimensions and stuff as this country boy did. That's the difference between them brains. Difference between where they live. Country boy lives on a ranch most of the time. With cattle, horses, you name it. And has some of this fancy equipment and stuff. Redneck boy, he lives out in 40 acres of the woods. Hardwood, pine, it don't matter. He lives out in the hollers in the woods. And probably lives in a trailer. Just saying, okay? Your name is Terry, your name is Billy Bob Joe or something. You probably in a redneck in a trailer out in the middle of nowhere. And a redneck boy, he mainly has woods. Country boy mainly has pasture because he has cattle and all this stuff. And a redneck boy and a country boy, they both can live off the land. But a redneck boy and a country boy, he grows a lot of his food. And he goes to the grocery store and all that. He buys a bunch of his food. A redneck boy, he go out the back porch. Or there. He'll shoot it there, go skin it, cook it, put the rest in the freezer, grill him some back straps, do it out all in one day. Probably out in 1 hour. Probably all with one hand. And watch Facebook with the other hand. Redneck boy's built different. If you're wondering, I am a redneck. Just so you know, I'm a certified redneck. How do you know? Muck boots. Muck boots, what you call these things? Sweatpants, camo jacket, real tree hoodie. Got a camo hat in there. But anywho, a redneck boy lives out in the middle of nowhere, probably in a trailer, with a four-wheeler and a Dodge Ram. Country boy, he probably has a Ford. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. Probably has a Ford or a Chevy. Just gonna say it. Country boy, a redneck boy, probably has a beat-up Ram. Just gonna say it. And that's kind of the difference between a redneck and a country boy's house. Mine, how they get their food. Just the overall difference. But hope that kind of helped you a little bit, Shane, my youth pastor. He asked me that question like a week ago before we went to a retro arcade, and about an hour from here. So yeah, that's the difference between a redneck and a country boy. I'm trying to think of anything else. Oh, redneck. They probably have a four-wheeler or a side-by-side they've had that was their great-grandpappy's. A country boy probably has the newest Razor or the newest Can-Am or something like that. I don't know. They might not. I've seen a lot of country boys with old four-wheelers and stuff. The redneck boys have something beat up, faded, bald tires, probably from more like the grandpappy's. Kind of like my friend. And my dad, he's had his since his wedding in 2000. Sorry, my mom called me. Anywho, what was I on? Oh, four-wheelers and side-by-sides. Anywho, redneck probably has something from his grandpappy, or it's really old and beat up. Kind of like ours. The fender's being taped up right now. And we've used like 4 different screws to get the fender to stay on. Redneck, his is the same way. Probably keeps it in the building. Redneck just keeps it out and puts a tarp over it if he needs to. Like us. Anywho, that's the difference between a redneck and a country boy. And cowboys and country boys are literally the same thing. Now, my buddy Burley, you'll see his videos. Go watch the fishing video. There's some daily vlog videos. Disc golf, you'll see him in there. And we did film the disc golf video. But what happened is the voice. Oh! Anywho, the card reader. The card reader broke. So they ordered a new card reader, if I'm right. And he'll be able to edit that video in the near future. I'm getting a new camera pretty soon, actually. It's going to be like $350 to get everything I need. And I'm at $295. So I think my dad and mom, I'm going to ask them if they can help me out with like $20 of it to get it quicker. And then I'm going to be saving up for a bow. So, that's that. And I'll see you guys whenever I get a new video idea and I feel better. Yeah. Peace out, little homie.